Hey guys, it's Jim Chandler with Rock Your Best Vocals back with another How to Sing Like. Okay, so today is Motley Crue, Vince Neil, How to Sing Like Vince Neil. Vince Neil's voice comes down to that kind of nasally and raspy sound. Wash your eyes out with soap because that is some nasty stuff in there, some crazy, nasty stuff. One of the first ever singers that I kind of grew up listening to was Vince Neil. I just my brother was into them, particularly with this first song I'm going to do, Livewire, and I was like, oh my God, these guys are incredible. What the heck, man? Because I was into Kiss at first, and then Motley Crue was like Kiss, but like rougher and like a bit more hard edge, you know? So Motley Crue's been around 40 years, so I said I have to do Motley Crue. And this one particularly goes out to my buddies Jason Carpenter, Scott Schreiber, and J.J. Saltzman, particularly guys I grew up and ran with back in Ohio, that we were all in the crew, man. We called it our own little crew. I think we called it the Brew Crew, which was like, we were like 14. But yeah. So Motley Crue, this goes out to you guys. Hope you guys enjoy this. Let's just get into it. So first of all, if you do like this video, please hit like and subscribe, and smash or ding or kick or like hit your head off the notification bell, whatever, so you get more of these videos. And also helps the algorithm, helps other people see these and learn and grow their voice along with us. Okay. So also, if you're struggling to learn to sing, if you're struggling with confidence, or you're losing your voice, or you're struggling with how to get power or how to employ any of these techniques to kind of get to the next level, please don't be a struggling singer. Be a master vocalist. Click down below for the Master Vocal Program MVP, and you can check out like kind of the details about that and join that course. A 6-week course starts off with a foundational level of mindset, which is so critical if you want to really take your singing and your life to the next level beyond anything you ever thought possible. Click that link down below, learn a bit more about that. I also have a free course down there if you're just a beginning singer and you need to kind of help develop skills around singing. That will really help you get started. Okay, so with all of that, let's get into this. Okay, Vince Neil singing style. Okay, when he started off, particularly, if we look at the beginning of his kind of transition, he was really kind of, and still is, but really nasally. Okay, so if we look at Livewire, now listen up, she's a razor sharp if she don't get her way. Now you're going to be like, okay, that's a bit more nasally than Vince sounds, but when you listen to the isolated vocal, it's not too far off. I might be exaggerating that, and that's what I do in these videos. I exaggerate to get the point across of what they sound like, so you can help kind of get that lash you about. You can kind of listen to these accentuated things, okay? Accentuated kind of sounds that the singer is producing, and then dial them back. And then you take these tools that I'm giving you and implement them in your own singing, okay? To improve your singing or to kind of color your singing style a little bit more in, you know, maybe some your favorite singers or whatever. So it's not just a sound just like that singer, unless you're doing a Vince Neil or like Motley Crue cover band, then this should come in super handy. But I don't want everybody running around sound like Vince Neil, because he already sounds like Vince Neil. You should be trying to sing like you. That's the most important part of this. Take these tools and use them to develop your own voice. Okay, so the first track we're going to listen to is Livewire, okay?
Plug me in, I'm alive tonight, out on the streets again. Pull me on, I'm a hot snob, something you never forget. Take my bit to break down walls, hot top and no.
Take my fist, break down walls. So real. Break down walls. it just sounds like Cartman almost. I'm over accentuating it. So, Crue fans, chill the F out. Chill yourselves. Don't be starting to. I'm going to type in. He's not doing Vince Neil correctly. He sounds more like Eric Cartman. Yeah, okay. That's why learning different voices is good for you. Take my fist, break down walls, hot down tonight, no. Okay, so very nasally. A little bit of, he's compressing there. Take my fist, break down walls, but not as much. Very, quite chesty. Now, I know they were super young. I'm not sure exactly what age he was. I think Vince Neil's 56 now. So if that was 40 years ago, 16, 17 years old, not sure exactly how old he was when he recorded this, but he had a young sounding voice. It was young, but it was also mature. So he could hit that kind of, he had a higher register where that was like really, I suppose, easy for him. Take my fist, break down walls, hot down tonight, no. Where I'm a baritone, that is for me kind of a really have to compress to get up in that region. But anyway, let's move on to kind of hear a bit more.
But it's only loose. Best to be free, cause I'm highly young, running free. A little bit better than you.
Hot in the young. So that's another thing about Vince Neil is that hot in the young, running free. Right, quite closed mouth. Hot in the young, running free. A little bit better than I used to be. Cause I'm hot and young, running free, a little bit better. It's real. Hot and young, running free, a little bit better than I used to be. Now this is the older Vince Neil, but I'm going through the progression here. But if you listen to that, it's real. Hot and young, running free, a little bit better than I used to be. Just kind of, if you just took that all like that.
Because I'm young, but it's only loose. Best to be free, cause I'm highly young, running free. A little bit better than it used to be, cause I'm alive.
A little bit better than I used to be. Okay, so I was over accentuating way beyond what I should have been, but it doesn't matter. The point is, highly young, running free. Point is that. Is the highly young. That's what the point is. Okay? Livewire, real nasally. Livewire, cause I'm alive. I'm a Livewire. Very good. I love that track off of that. It's great. Okay, so now let's move on to Looks to Kill, which was on the Shout of the Devil album, so we can hear a little bit more of a transition from his voice, okay? So I think this is a couple of years after that first album.
Now listen up. She's a razor sharp.
Now listen up. She's a razor sharp. Still got that. You can hear his voice has matured a little bit, okay, from singing on the road, singing a lot of songs, a couple of second album. Now listen up. But it's still, now listen up. Still got that tone of that kind of nasal. Now listen up. But a bit more distortion. Now listen up. She's a razor sharp.
If she don't get her way.
If she don't get her way. Still, if she don't get her way.
She'll slash you apart.
She'll slash you apart. So Vince also that coloring, just like the way he pronounced words. She'll slash you apart. Just like a pout instead of apart. She'll slash you apart. If you want to sing it like straight up, she'll slash you apart. No. Bring Vince in so he can go, she'll slash you apart. Amazing. So cool that just pronunciation of something different adds that kind of, that interesting factor to an otherwise kind of, I mean, there's not a bland vocal line, but I mean, if you didn't add that coloring, she'll slash you apart. It just doesn't sound right. A pout is just so much better, isn't it? It's so much better. Anyway, let's move on.
Now she's a cool black.
So that part there as well. Now she's a cool black. That to me sounds like he's going into a falsetto-y. Now she's a cool black.
Now she's a cool black.
Now she's a cool black. Sounds so funny when I do it, but I think that's what he's using there. Or just kind of, and again, with a bit of that false chord vocal fry. She's a cool black. So that's falsetto with a bit of that. Sounds a bit kind of similar to Brian Johnson. I think Brian Johnson kind of has that sort of style. I don't think Brian Johnson's ever really singing full voice. I think he sings more of a falsetto. But anyway, it's to me that sounds a little bit kind of almost like Brian Johnson-ish. Okay, Brian Johnson-ish. Anyway, let's move on.
Well, you might not make it back. She's got the looks that kill. That kill.
You can tell he's kind of pushing a bit more air through that kill instead of that kill. Instead of using kind of a tight chord closure, he's that kill. He's kind of pushing a bit more air through, which for me, when I do that, you can hear in my chords there, they're kind of like, sounds a little bit rough from doing that, because I used to sing like that a lot and I didn't do enormous damage to my voice, but it did do damage to my voice over time to where like I have to focus on tight chord closure to get a good clean sound. And anyway, let's move on. Okay, so and then lastly, we're going to listen to Dr. Feelgood, which was off that album, Dr. Feelgood, just to kind of hear a little bit of that transition from Vince Neil's voice. Where is he going from that? Now, there's a lot of effect on this, but we're going to use it anyway to kind of see a little bit of that transition. Through all of this, we should still hear that Vince Neil, that kill. She's got the looks that kill. That kill. That's still nasally sound. Not bad nasal. Okay, so when I say nasal, it's nasal resonance. So he's got a good nasal resonance sound. It might be a bit more nasally than other singers, but it's that kill. That's where that's coming from. So I'm over accentuating a little bit there, but just to give you that point. Let's listen to Dr. Feelgood.
When I tell Jimmy he's a secondhand hood, deals out in Hollywood.
Okay. I tell Jimmy's a secondhand deals down Hollywood. He's still got that nasally bit. So you can hear his voice a bit more raspy as you go on. And I think that if he's not using like tight chord closure over that, it's kind of that rasp gets worse as you go on. Not worse, but maybe more accentuated. And if you keep using that, you'll eventually kind of wear your voice out where it's like you can't sing, almost can't sing without that. because I used to sing like that for a long time, and then I find it hard for me to sing head voice without sounding raspy like that. So now it's just developed more raspy because that raspiness is just kind of gets worse over time, okay? So if you're pushing a lot of air through that, you're going to kind of make your voice raspier and raspier over time. You can get around that with certain techniques, kind of compressing and having a tight chord closure and just pressing a little bit more. That kill, she's got, you know, like that instead. You can hear if I go, you can hear that little rasp. But if I tighten my chords, it just takes a little bit more compression to make sure I can have that tight chord closure. But let's move on. You can hear that primer blades, the primer blades, real nasally there again, okay?
Jigsaw Jimmy, he's a run of the game. Gotta hear he's doing okay. Gotta close a little job to the Mexican mob. Packages a candy cane. He's the one that called Dr. Feelgood. He's the one that makes you feel alright. He's the one that called Dr. Feelgood.
And that he's the one that called Dr. Feelgood. He's the one that makes you feel alright. He's the one that called Dr. Feelgood. Okay, so quite nasally, right? And quite sort of a thin sound instead of like if you were to sing that, you could sing that in a fuller. He's the one that calls Dr. Feelgood. He's the one that makes me feel all right. He's the one that calls Dr. Feelgood. You know, if you, he's the one that calls Dr. Feelgood. He's the one that makes me feel all right. So you can see the difference there. The kind of nasally. He's the one that calls Dr. Feelgood. He's the one that makes me feel all right. Kind of really front placement, quite nasally. That's kind of the overall style throughout all of Vince Neil. So if you're going to try and sing Motley Crue stuff, make sure you're like that, thinking like, you know, I'm Livewire, because I'm alive. I'm Livewire. He's the one that called Dr. Feelgood. He's the one that make me feel all right. Yeah. You can still use that, you know, compression in your abdomen. Big deep breath. He's the one that called Dr. Feelgood. He's the one that make you feel all right. And still you can let a little bit out, but he does also have that rasp in there as well. So you do have to let some rasp come through. So either do that with false chord fry if you can, and just, you know, just to let a little bit of rasp on there rather than let it come from your kind of head. He's the one that calls it feel good. He's the one that make it feel all right. So that there is my head voice with that head voice rasp, not so much from the false chord fry. And if I was to go, he's the one that called Dr. Feelgood. He's the one that make you feel all right. That is with a false chord fry, which is much safer for your voice rather than using that kind of head voice rattling of your actual vocal cords, you know? And so you can probably hear a little bit my voice getting tired from singing like in that that raspy head voice. That's why I don't like to use that much, because I know then if I was to go and sing this for 3 nights, 5 nights in a row, I'd have a tough time getting through that. So like if you're touring and stuff like that, that's where you really have to like be careful with your voice. So anyway, let's move on and see if there's anything else to learn from his.
He's gonna be your Frankenstein.
Okay, so that bit there. He's gonna be your Frankenstein. He's gonna be your Frankenstein. He's gonna be your I'm accentuating it.
He's gonna be your Frankenstein. 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 He's gonna be your Frankenstein.
Play around with it. It helps you to kind of understand where to push from, where to manipulate your kind of the back of your throat, and where to manipulate what pushing up through your nose, all that stuff, feeling, play with that a little bit. Have fun with it. I mean, like, that's what we're here for, is to have fun, right? Yeah, of course.
Got one thing that's easily understood.
So that bit there. Got one thing that's easily understood. So really, got one thing that's easily understood. So it's quite nasally, and I mean, I'm like over accentuating it a little bit, but not too much. So I think that's pretty much it. Okay, so guys, I hope all of these kind of tips and tricks helped for you kind of to help yourself sound a little bit more like Vince Neil. Again, like really, Vince Neil's voice comes down to that kind of nasally and raspy sound, okay? So, we played around with it a little bit, over-accentuated it, had some fun there with that. Hopefully this helped you guys, and hopefully you enjoyed it. Happy 40th anniversary to Motley Crue. Incredible band, incredible, story. If you guys read the book Dirt, oh my God. Read the book Dirt, but then you have to, wash your eyes out with soap. Because that is some nasty stuff in there. Some crazy, nasty stuff. Anyway, happy anniversary to the crew. We're going to leave it there. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. If you did like it again, please hit like and subscribe and the notification bell. You know what to do, man. Hit those buttons, man. They're free. Absolutely free. So no reason not to hit them. Thank you very much for watching. Rock your best vocals where your best keeps getting better. Thank you, guys.